This lesson is going to be on useful system utilities that you can use to manage different processes or check your system's performance. So let's go ahead and start with the first utility, PS. Now this will display your current processes. I guess right now PS alone will display the processes for this TTY window. So notice that this window that we have open, this terminal, is PTS1. You'll see PTS1 has a PID of 5730 being executed using bash. You can also see a list of all the processes running throughout the entire machine using some flags. For instance, you could use ps-aux. Let's pipe that over to the less. And you'll see that we have a list of processes. Since I'm zoomed in, it doesn't look too well. Let me zoom out so I can show you what it'll look like. Zoom out. Let's see if that'll do the trick. Yeah, and there you go. So you have the one column with the username, the second column with the PID, another column with the CPU usage, memory usage, and so on, and which command we're running and how long it's been running for. Another way you can view a list of the processes, you could also use the ps-ef flags. This would just not show you the CPU usage or the memory usage. We also have a utility called top, which will display a list of the processes as well as additional information. So let's go ahead and type top, enter, and you'll see it starts off with giving us our uptime. So this PC's been running for 22 hours. We have 2 users logged in. The reason I have 2 users logged in is this window is considered a user, and also the GNOME terminal that we're in is considered a user. So for each additional window that we'd open, it would be considered as a new user. And then we see our load average. This is based off of 1 minute, 5 minutes, and 15 minutes. Now a load average under 1 is a server that's not being hit too hard. Anything over 1, the server is being used intensively. You'll see our CPU usage, and we have our memory usage. So we have how much RAM we gave this machine when we created it, how much we're using, how much we have free, how much is being used in the buffers, how much we have in our swap, as well as how much is being used in our swap, and how much we have free in our swap, and how much is cached. And then this should look similar from the PS command that we ran earlier, which gives you the information based off of your PIDs ordered by the amounts of usage that's it. The processes are ordered based off the amount of usage that they are consuming. Now if you wanted to know what else you could do within this top utility, you could just type the H, and you'll see it'll give you a little help window with different commands you can run. Let's exit that. So now let's look at one of the utilities that top includes by itself. Let's do uptime. Now this will return you like some different system information as far as uptime, how many users are logged in, and your load average. We also have free, which will show you your memory usage. Now you could also use free with a different flag M to see everything in megabytes instead of kilobytes, because right now everything is by default is displayed in kilobytes. So doing free with the -M flag, pressing enter, will give you everything in like a human readable format: 502 megabytes, 473 used, 29 megabytes free. And then we have our swap information as well as our cache information. Another useful utility that we can use is the DF utility, which will display all your partition and mount information. So let's go ahead and do DF. And you'll see that we have our different partitions: SDA2, SDA1, and tempfs. which are all booted to the root/boot, and this is just a temporary partition. Now we could read that in human readable format instead of reading it by kilobytes by just doing df-h. And this to display everything. If it can be displayed in gigabytes, it will display it in gigabytes or megabytes, whichever is needed. Another utility that we can use is the vmstat. Now vmstat will give you information on the different processes, the memory, the input, output, paging, and different CPU activity information. If we do man vmstat, you'll see that it gives you a breakdown of what each of these fields are. So let's scroll down, and you'll see the first column procs. This will display the number of processes waiting for runtime, number of processes in uninterruptible sleep. Then we have our memory, swap, free, buffer, cache, inactive, active. Then we got the swap, the I/O, the system, and the CPU. Now using a flag with vmstat, we can actually, let's go ahead and do df, and let's say we wanted to know some more information on the SDA1, our boot partition. So we could actually do vmstat followed by -p /dev SDA1, and this will give you the SDA1 information, reads and writes, sectors. You'll see, since we have little reads and little writes, 75 reads, 5 writes, that the system isn't very used. Now we also have another utility that will let you know what run level you're in. By just typing run level, you'll see that we're in run level 5. Now run level 5 is our GNOME-based init level. It gives you the GUI the GUI on top of your operating system. Now, from earlier videos, you know that we could switch run levels by just typing init followed by the run level you want to switch to. The different run levels are explained in the etc init tab. Let's go ahead and pipe that to less. And you'll see that our default run level is 5. If you were to edit that file and change this to a 3, it would default you into run level 3. Now you would never want to default this into 0 or 6, because that would just mean that every time your system starts up, it needs to halt, shut down, or reboot. And lastly, another utility that you should be aware of is the kill utility. Spelled just like this. Now kill would be used to kill a process. Let's go ahead and open up another tab. So now let's run ps, and you'll see that our PID for this bash window that we're in is 5806. Let's go ahead and kill that. 5806. Now you'll see that it didn't actually kill that window. And this is because there's also other utilities that are tied down, other processes. So to kill all the signals to that process, you would do kill 5806-9. Now you don't have to do this with every process. There'll just be some cases where you'll have to use the -9 flag. And you'll see after running that, it'll actually kill that other tab, and we no longer have it available. Let's go ahead and just kill the current tab that we're in. Kill -9 5730, and there you go.